Hi, did you check in?
No, I'm with somebody. I'm monitoring how long it's taking them to file and get police reports.
Oh, okay. All right. And you, ma'am?
Yes.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
This is Susan Bassi. For over a decade, we've been pulling back the curtain on something most people never see: the tangled, messy, and often dangerous relationship between police officers, attorneys, and California's family and criminal courts. In criminal court, a bad police report or police officer's testimony might send an innocent person to prison or let a guilty person go free. But in family court, a police report connected to a child custody dispute or a divorce could easily get a parent arrested, land them in jail, strip them of custody of their children while never letting them tell their side of the story. And while only 10% of divorce cases are litigated, it is the police reports and public records we get from police departments that tell us more about the culture of policing in a certain community and how that culture impacts the judges and legal profession working in family courthouses. Where temporary orders can't be appealed, there's no right to an attorney, and no Innocence Project is going to show up to show everybody how their rights were violated. In this video, we took our cameras and followed a mother stripped of custody of her only son as she sought out a police report of her ex trying to get her arrested shortly before their custody case was filed.
My baby.
It would take nearly 3 hours for an individual to file a police report and another to try to request a police report. And so while we waited, I did a live stream. I'll put the link down below. And I wandered around the police department looking at what I would request in the way of public records. And we also looked at how police officers responded to my camera being in the police department.
Are you the victim in the report?
No, not in this one.
What kind of report is it?
The report has been dismissed, but I just want a copy of it.
Okay.
And
Do you know like what kind of report it is?
it was a,
Okay, let me take a look at it. And then I'll take your ID stuff. Thank you. Alrighty, I'll give you a call back when I have it. You can speak for now, okay? Thank you.
What is she going to do?
she's gonna get the copy.
As we waited over 3 hours for one individual to file a police report and another to get a copy of a police report, I couldn't help but notice all the public records requests I would like to make, because every sign seemed to point somebody somewhere else other than the police department. If you wanted to file about a traffic accident or fraud and scam, some kind of white-collar crimes, you had to do it online, meaning there probably weren't qualified police officers able to take such kind of reports. And we also noticed that they had signs for Crime Stoppers wanting the public's help in reporting crimes. And at the end of the day, we couldn't help but recall that San Jose claims to be one of the largest safe cities in the state of California. Over 30% of the city's budget is spent on policing. That's over $473 million a year, or $434 per resident.
John Howard, window 5.
And like most police departments, this department was decorated with signs of police officers being helpful in the community and the history of the department. But what was not on the wall was the sign about how this police department and others in the wealthier parts of Santa Clara County had police chiefs who were participating in an underground bar bench media police committee where they got together with certain judges, prosecutors, divorce attorneys, therapists, and members of the media who would report favorably on the police and on what was happening in the local courts, which largely contributed to people not understanding what's happening with our modern policing and our modern criminal and family courts.
To my place for several hours, and the person who was being violent took off.
Most interesting was the fact that the San Jose Police Department appeared to be redirecting individuals interested in filing restraining orders in civil court to another location. Because when the police file restraining orders, it's usually only for 3 days. Or if the district attorney asks for it, they might ask for it for a little bit longer. But all other restraining orders that strip you of your Second Amendment rights are issued in civil court or in family court. And in family court, we find that too many people are using these restraining orders, becoming the prosecutors in the case, especially if they have a high-paid divorce attorney. And they are prosecuting these restraining order cases in connection with a divorce or a child custody case. And when they do, it is the judges who can make the conflict even worse and the situation more dire, because they can often appoint attorneys to represent the children who are at the center of the case. And those attorneys can bill and bill, just as Elise Mitchell has done time and time again, causing families to have to pay tens of thousands of dollars for their child to have an attorney when they might not be able to afford one themselves. And we find that these restraining orders are routinely issued by judges simply because one party with an attorney says they're fearful. And when that happens and a restraining order is issued, it will take away your Second Amendment rights and also your ability to work as a police officer, a teacher, a doctor, a nurse, or even a dog catcher, because civil restraining orders that strip you of your Second Amendment rights are considered a very serious issue in California, and they can come about simply on the allegations of another individual.
You have, or the involvement you have in the case, and that's just under the California government code that I highlighted here. Go ahead and actually highlight it.
The Santa Clara County District Attorney, Jeff Rosen, is running for office again in 2026. He's been in office for over 15 years. That's as long as California has had laws on the books that allow a DA to issue restraining orders that remove the Second Amendment rights from individuals charged with a crime. You don't have to be convicted of a crime. And Mr. Rosen is using the San Jose Mercury, a newspaper owned by a private equity group, where Robert Solana, one of the reporters, regularly attended the Bar Bench Media Police Committee with Mr. Rosen and all the police chiefs, judges, divorce attorneys, and therapists that were invited to attend those secret meetings. But Robert Solana never got around to reporting on what was said in those meetings. And so now Robert Solana, a legacy media reporter, is reporting information on Jeff Rosen's behalf to help him get reelected. Because when newspapers endorse political candidates, they're making an opinion about who they think should be the district attorney.
You have, or the involvement you have in the case, and that's just under the California government code that I highlighted here. Go ahead and actually highlight it.
So can I get a copy because of my role that was in this,
Correct. So I'm unable to give it to you.
even though it was dismissed?
If you have a question about that, you can definitely go straight to the court and ask them. But I'm not able to give you the initial report, which is what we have. So I drafted up this letter for you, and it highlights the code that does not allow us to release the report.
Okay, thank you.
Turning to civil court and family court in particular, we find that civil harassment or DVRO orders, restraining orders in family court, are often issued or requested after a police report has been made. And the requests usually come from an individual who might not necessarily be fearful, but might be seeking to use the reports and use the claims of being fearful as a litigation tactic in order to get more money out of a divorce or child custody case, or even to get the children completely in their care and custody. Because once someone claims that they're fearful of you and the family court issues a restraining order, you not only lose your Second Amendment rights, but if that restraining order becomes permanent, you might lose your right to certain employment, including employment of being a police officer, dog catcher, a teacher, a supervised visitation provider, and the list goes on and on. And we've been finding that there have been a very high number of restraining orders issued in family court cases. And typically, we see that result in one parent being stripped of custody of their children. These parents have no criminal history and no related criminal case, and yet these restraining orders can go on for years and months, and in some cases, even a lifetime. The police department told this mother that she wasn't able to get the police report that was filed against her, and they cited a government code. So we looked up the government code, and the government code basically says that the information should be disclosable unless somebody decides that it could be a public safety issue, meaning the police department has discretion about what information they can release and what they can't. So somebody can make allegations against you that result in you losing your Second Amendment rights, and that can happen in civil court simply based on the allegations of another. And we are finding that a core group of attorneys and some nonprofits, especially the nonprofit known as Women SV, are at the center of all these cases where there are a lot of restraining orders being issued, and the harm is on the children and the parents who lose custody or aren't able to get employment because of those orders.
Alrighty, have a good one.
You know, on that case, was it dismissed or did you go into the court at all?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
dismissed.
well, no, because there's two different things. There's called a detention where they hold you like overnight, but then
I was never hold or anything.
let you go. Okay, but you did go to court, because if it never goes into court, then we give you a letter that's called a detention letter, which means they just held you and didn't charge you. But if you went to court, then you have to go to court to get the paperwork that says it was dismissed.
No, I got everything. I just wanted a copy for myself of what everything.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So unfortunately, but you can also try to subpoena the records.
Okay, have a good one.
Can I see a copy of that letter? I want to take a picture.